Hello, today we're going to talk about core values and how strengthening your core values will help you stand out from your competition. First, a few introductions. We are OpenEye Advisors, a data-driven consultancy based out of DC, but with consultants around the world. The individuals that contributed to this project are Christian Dawson, Hilary Vandermeulen, and myself, Taylor Tricarico. There is a lot of talk and buzz right now about culture and values. From large corporations to small brick and mortar businesses, leaders have realized the value of stating why they do what they do and making business decisions around those ideals. What we will do in this workshop is give you a step-by-step guide on how to develop, maintain, and promote core values that are true to your organization and can be used as a powerful tool for differentiation from the likes of AWS. Vision is what you aspire to be. We all know that. Mission is how you will do it. Values are the behaviors that you will follow while you're reaching for your mission. However, if you haven't taken the time to intentionally establish a specific set of standards, you run the risk of others shaping your business's public perception. So how do you avoid that? You avoid that by actively identifying who you are, why you do what you do, and what you stand for through the core values exercise. Core values are at the cornerstone of all business decisions. There's nothing more important in developing and maintaining powerful businesses than first establishing a winning culture based on published core values. People want to work for companies that are governed by established principles and management that supports them. Consumers want to buy from these same companies. Core values are where powerful businesses begin, and smart management will diligently work to enhance their effectiveness. Values should reflect people's motivation for doing the company's work. They need to be specific and grounded in reality. They should illustrate an alignment between all staff, top to bottom. We're going to talk about that later. They should be constructed with words and phrasing that leadership and staff of your organization would actually use. Values should not, these are things to avoid. They should not change with organizational goals, leadership, or the market. Core values must be able to stand the test of time. They cannot be more marketing slogans. Core values written to appeal to an audience for marketing or PR purposes are disingenuous and will harm, not help. They can't be created in a vacuum. This is not a task for leadership or the HR team. It is a responsibility of the entire organization to identify and promote core values. And they should not be visionary. Core values do not articulate who you want to be. They state who you are right now. So here's an example of some core values, a company that we all know and probably frequent, and that is Starbucks. So here are their core values: provide a great work environment and treat each other with respect and dignity. Embrace diversity as an essential component in the way we do business. Apply the highest standards of excellence to the purchasing, roasting, and fresh delivery of our coffee. Develop enthusiastically satisfied customers all the time. Contribute positively to our communities and our environment. Recognize that profitability is essential to our future success. So what jumps out at us about these values? For one, we can tell what business they're in, right? Coffee, where it says that roasting and fresh delivery of coffee. There's a sense of balance. We get an idea that they value employees, customers, community, and profits. And they're fairly concise. There's no paragraph explanations needed. We don't have to kind of guess what they're saying. So to me, this is a good example of nice, succinct, genuine values from Starbucks. Here's another example, the Container Store. So these guys sell plastic containers. Plastic containers, that's what they sell. But they do it with a set of guiding core values that is unique to them and generates the kind of energy that they want out of their employees and that they want you to feel when you go in their store. So their values are 1 great person equals 3 great people. Communication is leadership. Fill the other guy's baskets to the brim. The best selection, service, and price. Intuition does not come to an unprepared mind. Man in the desert selling. An air of excitement. So in this case, their values also include a brief description after them, which is just a different kind of method, a different model for core values. But again, this is an example of a company that is being very honest with what they do and why they do what they do and how they are doing it, and providing some transparency to the consumer. They're also very unique. I'm not sure any other company would reference a man in the desert. So you really get a sense of their personality, and you can really feel the energy they're trying to generate with their values. So here's an example on the flip side of what I would consider to be generic values. Generic values get generic results. So this is an example of something I wouldn't recommend. Integrity. Employees will demonstrate honesty and sound ethical behavior in all business transactions. Mutual respect. Employees will consistently treat individuals with respect and dignity. Teamwork. Employees work together as a team. Communication. Employees will share information effectively with each other. Innovation, quality, fairness. You get the idea. So these are all good, honorable values, right? So what's wrong? There's nothing unique here. There's no differentiator. They're pretty much covering everything without zeroing in on what they stand for the most. They're oversimplified, they're generic, and we get no sense of the company's personality. To me, these seem like a set of values that were created by a marketing team that wanted to make sure that they hit all the buzzwords that a prospective customer would be looking for. So not a great example of core values. And by the way, this is from a anonymous company. Core values are found, not created. It's not who you want to be, it's who you are. So the language we use when we talk about core values a lot of time is to develop core values, to create them, to build them. I'm even guilty of this terminology. But what we really need to be saying is that we're finding them, we're uncovering, we're bringing them to light. These values already exist in an organization's people. We just have to uncover them. And we uncover them by asking the right questions and really listening to the responses. OpenEye Advisors has experience leading companies through a core values discovery engagement. We take organizations through a proven process of uncovering core values. It includes surveying every employee on what values are important to them, drafting the core value statements based on those responses we get from the entire staff, putting the core value statements to a vote, and finally creating a plan for announcing, celebrating, and most importantly, leveraging corporate core values. The goal when uncovering core values is to look for overlap in what individuals value and discover what matters most to your organization as a collective. So we might poll employees about what they find most important in their personal life and their professional life, what they value in themselves, in others, in a workspace. And we combine all of those responses and we look for the overlap and we look for the words and the themes that are coming out over and over again. And those themes are the basis for your core values. A good way to illustrate what I mean is to look at the Starbucks example again. So if we look at their core values, we can kind of reverse engineer them and see what the themes are that they started with. So very quickly, we see that respect and dignity is jumping out at us, diversity, high standards for excellence, customer satisfaction, the community, environment, and finally profitability. So this is the kind of thing that we at OpenEye Advisors do for organizations. We help drill down to these individual themes and then draft statements around the themes that can be used across the company. And we're going to show you how to do that. Once we help companies develop their core values, the next step is to write them down everywhere, to display them within your company. Put them on posters, hang them on the wall, put them on mugs, Wherever a core value can be represented and illustrated, make it happen. Because the more visual representation you give your employees of the things that you value out of them, the more likely they are to remember these values when they come in contact with customers, when they're handling communications, when they're representing you as an organization. So this is a fun part of the process to blanket your office, virtual or brick and mortar, with the core values internally so they can be absorbed, learned, and understood by your employees. So it's important not to just create the core values, put them on the wall, put them on the mug, walk away and forget about them. You need to constantly be bringing these core values to life. And one good way to do that is through events, rewards, and awards. Acknowledging staff that personify the core values with core values rewards is a really fun way to do that. For example, if you already give a monthly customer support award, rebrand it a specific core value that you appreciate in your support team and then give the award that way. You can hold events. If you have a value that is based on creativity, have a chili cook-off and see who can make the most creative but still edible chili. Create small opportunities to demonstrate a value. If you have a core value about embracing challenge, for example, buy a few brain teaser puzzles, put them in the break room, and give a gift card to the person or persons that accept the challenge and figures them out. I've even gone so far to create a core values roadmap that was followed just like a product development roadmap and held management to core values, milestones, and events. At the very least, plan ahead and put these events and awards on the calendar so you have one at regular intervals. Another place to bring your core values to life, probably the easiest place, and I think the first step, is in your human resources function. So you're going to want to look at how you handle your human resources activities and make sure that your core values are represented in every step of the employee life cycle. After hiring dozens and dozens of staff, especially in tech firms, I can confidently say that an individual who best fits your team culture is more important than technical expertise. Your interview process must include a core value alignment component. I've done this in both the main interview itself, alongside questions about skills and work history, and as a separate interview conducted by a small committee of peers. Whatever works best for your interview style, just make sure those questions get in there and that you're evaluating people against your core values and your culture. Being able to rely on your core values is especially helpful in times of accelerated growth. You can move quickly and confidently as you add staff because you're measuring them against an organization-wide standard. For onboarding and training, you want to get those new employees exposed to your core values as soon as possible. If they're not already in your employee handbook, you want to add them right away. And when you're looking at your employee review paperwork, you want to create categories on your paperwork for each value, evaluating employees against them. Doing this is really, really helpful and valuable. Reviews become more rounded and easier. We all know what it feels like to have an employee who doesn't quite align with the rest of the company. And now this is a way to evaluate and record where and how a mismatch has occurred and take steps to improve the behavior by setting your expectations around core values. The technical managers I have worked with love this approach. As mostly tech heads themselves, they appreciate having something more concrete to base the behavioral part of the employee analysis on. And finally, we're going to look at policies and procedures. Are your policies and procedures in alignment with your values? If not, you need to change them. Policies and procedures that govern behaviors are 100 times easier to create when you have core values to lean on. I once worked for a company where my task was to build new policies for a rapidly growing technical and customer support team. My first crack at it was met with resistance. It was not until I backed up 5 steps, took the entire company through a core values exercise similar to the one outlined here, and applied those shared values to the policies and procedures that I saw success. So having those policies and procedures match those core values is very important. It's not hard to make a decision once you know what your values are. To move beyond just stating values to actually living them, teams have to focus on living values in everything they do. Values need to move beyond generic statements to guide behaviors and influence strategic decisions. With strong values, strategies become guided by a unified identity. So how? We're going to show you. So the first area that you can see values in action is under product and project prioritization. When we talk to hosting companies about the challenges they face on a day-to-day basis, 8 out of 10 times they cite prioritization as something they struggle with. Maybe you already have a system for prioritization that includes things like level of effort, return on investment, and customer and/or operational impact. But I would guess that even with those hard metrics, you still have trouble deciding where to concentrate your efforts. Adding core values to your analysis helps bring your decisions into focus. Some examples of decisions that are easier when put through the lens of core values include how you communicate roadmap activities with customers and staff, and what features you decide to add to products. In the marketing and PR component of your business, core values can be really powerful. You want to make sure that you are advertising them. We talked about that before, about advertising them internally. But these are also a powerful tool for the marketing and PR department. You want to make sure that your website reflects what you value as an organization. Do visitors get a sense of your corporate personality? Does the energy that your values create come across? Shamelessly and boldly list your core values on your website. Tease them on the homepage and then include an expanded description one layer in. Have fun with it and don't forget to use photos of your own people. Is your advertising true to your values? Go back, look at those banners, those stickies, and those ads, and see if they sell your company's personality, not just your product. When evaluating new partners and vendors, this is another time to look at your values and ask, do they share our values? As an example, an organization that values transparency probably would not partner with a company that operates on closed systems. You can also ask, do the services and support they give reflect your goals and your values? An organization that prides itself on top service, for example, is going to be disappointed by a partnership with a company that doesn't prioritize customer service. Also ask, are you currently, right now, working with any vendors who are so different from you in their goals, values, and corporate personality that is causing discord? We have seen many business relationships struggle when they aren't working towards similar ends, leveraging similar values. People are buying a relationship with you, not just the products and services you offer. Be transparent about who you are, and the customers that you align with will want to do business with you. And bonus, you will get to work with the customers that are like you. So in the sales process, we want to train sales staff to speak core values. The language sales staff uses to describe products and services should highlight your values. We need to look at the process and see how you're selling. Are you treating would-be customers the way your values dictate? If one of your values is honesty, are you being honest and setting proper expectations about what you can and can't deliver? Sell your values. Use your values to sell your products and services. Chances are that from a technology standpoint, you sell the same thing that lots of other people sell. Differentiate yourself during the sales process using your core values. Sell them on the people, the company, and the experience. If you have a support team, this is the easiest and best place to let your values shine. If you've applied values to recruiting, hiring, onboarding, training, and employee development, this part is easy. Just sit back and watch your support team live and promote your values in every transaction and interaction with customers. Let the energy your values create flow through them to the customers. Core values are like the fuel you add to the fire of your support team, whether it be technical support or customer support. They're key in communicating what you value as a company to the customers and making sure that the customers understand and appreciate what you're bringing to the table. So there you have it. Some examples on how you can, as an organization, identify your core values, craft the core value message, share them, promote them, and really apply them to everything you do to set yourself apart from your competition. We hope you've learned something today. If you want to learn more, or if you're interested in engaging OpenEye advisors to take your company through a core values exercise, please visit our website at OpenEye Advisors, and that's open with an I, advisors.com. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.